And the one we are calling Kanu, do you know he has 2 passports? One Nigerian, one British, and he came to this country without using any passport. Do you know he brought an equipment into this country, a sophisticated equipment, and was broadcasting for Radio Biafra? Which kind of government do you want to have?
But we wrote an editorial against him.
What?
Premium Times wrote editorial against his radio station and called on the federal government to stop that.
So he should be given bail to go away. There's a treasonable felony against him, and I hope the court will listen to the case.
Okay, Your Excellency, well, we do.
Good people, welcome. If you find this useful, please like this video and subscribe now so you do not miss any update. Today, I will take you through the full, clear story about the latest development in the Nnamdi Kanu trial, delivered in plain English so everyone can follow. Please like this video and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. I will speak slowly and simply, and I will ask if I should continue whenever I pause. If you want the next part, just say yes in the comments. Now listen carefully. On October 30th, Nnamdi Kanu filed a fresh court application called a motion on notice. He asked the Federal High Court for 6 specific orders. The simple idea behind the motion is this. He argues that the entire charge against him is legally defective, and he wants the court to declare the charges invalid and to free him from custody. This is not a short remark or a casual protest. It is a formal legal document that asks the judge to decide in plain law whether the prosecution has a valid case at all. If the judge agrees, that could end the trial now. If the judge disagrees, the trial will continue. Please like this video and subscribe. It keeps this kind of careful news coming to you. Let me explain what the motion asks for using very clear language. First, the motion asks the court to strike out the charge sheet. That means Kanu asks the judge to say that the formal document that accuses him of crimes doesn't actually show any offense known to law. Second, the motion challenges the legal basis used by the prosecution. Kanu claims that some of the laws relied upon are either repealed, not applicable, or wrongly invoked, so they cannot support a valid charge. Third, the motion asks the court to order his release from custody if the charges are struck out. Fourth, the motion raises questions about jurisdiction, including whether the court has the right to try certain allegations that took place outside Nigeria. Fifth, Kanu asks the court to direct the prosecution to explain its legal foundation and to provide answers on the record. Sixth, the motion asks for procedural timelines so the court can decide quickly. These 6 requests together make up the core of the filing. If you find this clear so far, like this video and subscribe. And if you want me to continue, please tell me in the comments. Why does this matter? The answer has 2 parts: legal consequence and political consequence. Legally, if the judge accepts even part of the argument that the charge sheet is defective, the court can strike out the case. That would be a major legal victory for Kanu. It would mean the prosecution must either drop the case or start over with a new, properly framed charge. It would also likely trigger appeals and further litigation. Politically, this case has already been a high-tension matter. A ruling that looks favorable to Kanu will be met with celebration by his supporters and careful statements from government officials. A ruling that goes against him will be presented by the state as a vindication of law and order. Because both sides will react strongly, whatever the court decides will shape public conversation, social media reaction, and political messaging for days. Like this video and subscribe if you want balanced updates as events unfold. Now let us walk through how the case arrived at this point. Nnamdi Kanu was first arrested years ago and was on bail before he left Nigeria. He was later rearrested abroad and brought back to Nigeria. Since his return, he has been in custody while the federal government has prosecuted him on charges that include terrorism and related offenses. The prosecution has presented witnesses and evidence, and it closed its case earlier this year. After the prosecution closed, Kanu made a no-case submission which the court dismissed at that time. Following that, Kanu surprised the court by saying he would not enter a defense because he believes there is no valid charge. He then filed the written motion pressing the point further. That sequence is important. The prosecution closed its case, the court found a tribal case existed, and then the defense returned with a more extensive legal attack. Please like and subscribe if you want these timeline updates in your feed. It is crucial to explain what it means to strike out a charge. A court will strike out a charge if the charge sheet does not disclose any offense known to law or if the evidence cannot possibly support a conviction. Courts are careful with this power. Judges will not lightly throw out a prosecution where there is a reasonable triable issue. However, if a charge is truly founded on a law that no longer exists or on a statute that does not apply, there is a strong legal basis to strike it out. Kanu's motion is built on the argument that the prosecution relied on legal provisions that are defective in form or substance. If the judge accepts that argument, the consequences will be immediate and serious for the prosecution's case. If you think this is important, press like and subscribe now. Next, consider the role of the federal government in all of this. The state represented by the prosecution and the Attorney General is the party bringing the charges. When headlines say the motion is against Tinubu, that is shorthand. The filing challenges the government's legal case. It does not seek to order the president personally to do something. Instead, any order that weakens the prosecution or orders a release will be an order that affects the Crown's case. And the Crown is the federal administration. That explains why political language gets attached to a legal filing. In the courtroom, the questions are technical and legal. Outside the courtroom, commentators and activists frame the move in political terms. Please like this video and subscribe if you want legal explanation delivered clearly. Let us look at what the prosecution is likely to do. The prosecution, having closed its case, will respond in writing to this motion. Prosecutors will argue that the charge sheet is valid and that the evidence is sufficient to sustain the trial. They will point to witness testimony and documents already presented. They will likely argue that any technical problem can be fixed or does not vitiate the entire case. Courts often prefer to allow a trial to proceed to its natural conclusion unless there is a clear legal defect. Expect a robust written response from the prosecution opposing the motion. If you find this analysis helpful, hit like and subscribe to stay updated. Now, what about the judge? Justice Omotosho presides over the proceedings. A judge's role is to apply the law to the facts and to protect the rights of both the accused and the public interest. Judges will usually give careful consideration to a motion that attacks the legal foundation of a case. If the law relied upon is indeed repealed or inapplicable, a judge can strike out charges. If the issue is complicated, the judge may allow arguments and take time before deciding. In the recent hearing, the judge gave time to the parties to file their written submissions. The outcome depends on how the judge views the legal arguments and the weight of existing precedent. Please like and subscribe. And if you want me to explain precedent or past cases similar to this, tell me in the comments and I will continue. Let us consider the possible outcomes and what each will mean in straightforward language. First, the court could strike out the entire charge sheet and order release. That would effectively halt the current prosecution on these charges. The federal authorities could appeal the decision and the legal battle would shift to higher courts. Second, the court could dismiss the motion and allow the trial to continue. That outcome would be a win for the prosecution and the defense would need to prepare a full defense or rely on appeal later. Third, the court could grant partial relief, striking out some counts while leaving others to stand. That would complicate the trial and likely lead to further legal skirmishing. Fourth, the court could defer decision and ask for more evidence or longer argument. That would prolong uncertainty. Whatever happens, there will be appeals and public reaction. If you want continuous updates on likely appeals and next steps, please like and subscribe. Now, who will react and how? Supporters of Kanu will celebrate a favorable ruling and may stage public demonstrations or use social media to voice strong support. The federal government will stress the rule of law and that the judiciary must be respected. Human rights groups and legal observers will call for a fair and transparent process. International observers will watch for adherence to due process and fair trial standards. Each group will frame the ruling in the way that suits their concerns. The nation will watch closely because this case has implications beyond the courtroom. If you want me to prepare a short video explaining how different groups can respond responsibly, like this video, and subscribe. Now I will speak about what viewers should watch for next in terms everyone can follow. First, watch the court schedule and any written orders. The date the judge gives for the hearing and the date for a decision are critical. Second, watch the prosecution's written response. It will show if the government intends to defend the charge vigorously or to make adjustments. Third, watch official statements from the Attorney General, the security agencies, and from Kanu's legal team. Fourth, watch credible media reporting and verified court documents. Avoid social posts that may be inaccurate. When the court issues any order, check the text of the order itself, not just headlines. If any of this sounds helpful, press like and subscribe and tell me in the comments, shall I continue with more detail on what to expect in the appeal courts? I hear you might want a clear, simple takeaway. Here it is. This is a legal strategy aimed at testing the foundation of the prosecution's case. If the court finds the legal foundation weak or defective, the charges could be struck out and Kanu could be released. If the court finds the foundation adequate, the trial will continue and the prosecution will press towards conviction. That outcome will be contested in public opinion regardless. The core point is that this is first and foremost a legal fight dressed in political language by those who cover it. Please like this video and subscribe now so we can bring you every important legal update in plain English. Now let me give you 3 practical tips if you are following this story closely. 1. Follow reputable news outlets and check court documents when possible. 2. Do not rely on social media alone for legal updates. Verify claims, especially videos or images that may be misleading. 3. Remember that court decisions can be appealed. One ruling is rarely the end of a high-profile case. If you want a short guide on how to read court documents, tell me in the comments and I will prepare it. Like this video and subscribe so you do not miss that guide. Before I pause, I will paraphrase the key legal points one more time. The motion is not simply a plea for sympathy. It is a formal claim that the legal basis for the prosecution is flawed. If the judge accepts that claim, the result could be immediate and significant. If the judge rejects it, the legal process will continue and any final resolution may involve higher courts. That is the legal reality. Please like this video and subscribe if you want summaries of the written orders when they come out. I will now pause to check whether you want me to continue. Should I continue with a suggested script for a short, punchy 2-3 minute summary you can post as a short? Should I continue with suggested on-screen bullets for your editor to use? If you want me to continue, say yes and I will proceed at once. And again, please like this video and subscribe to support the channel. If you choose to have me continue now, I will provide a concise 2-minute script that highlights the top 3 points your viewers must know, plus 5 on-screen bullet slides for the editor. These will be simple, shareable, and ready for voiceover. I will also include suggested captions and a call to action to ask viewers to comment continue if they want live follow-ups. If you want that, say yes. If you want something else, for example, a calm 20-minute voiceover read with natural pauses built in for an audio version, tell me and I will deliver that too. But whichever you choose, remember to like this video and subscribe. If you want me to go deeper now, I can explain specific legal doctrines the motion relies upon using simple language. I can explain what happens when a law is repealed and how courts decide whether to treat a repeal as fatal to a pending prosecution. I can also explain how jurisdiction issues work when acts are alleged to have taken place outside Nigeria. And what rules govern extradition and foreign arrest evidence? Let me know which of these you want next. If you do, type your choice in the comments and say yes to continue. And please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening so far. If you found this helpful, press like, subscribe, and share. That support brings more clear, calm, and reliable updates into the feed.